I was hoping the questions would be answered already, but it seems that nobody has too many to ask, so I apologize. Friday, from my understanding, the negotiations were going strong and were going really well. Would you agree with that?
We went through many negotiating sessions. We had give and take. There were several $100 million of reductions and asks from the Republican caucuses that the Democratic caucus agreed to incorporate into this plan. So yes, I think we had gone very well.
Okay. And can you explain what happened then to stop those negotiations after that? I mean, I think you guys were negotiating throughout almost 14 hours on Friday. What happened to stop the negotiations? Because personally, I trust the ones chosen on both sides of the aisle to negotiate a comprehensive revenue plan. So,
Representative, we went through the entire plan several times. The questions that were raised were answered. A sheet of requests was given to us several times. We went through 3 iterations. Each time the Democrats agreed with certain things the Republicans wanted as these negotiations go. And at the end, we reached a limit where the requests were beyond what we were willing to accept, also as negotiations go.
Okay, so there was no, this wasn't negotiated then. There was things that you folks discussed as a whole that were not in this plan.
$500 million cut to Medicaid. There were many things that the Democrats would not agree to that are not in this plan. And the things that we want also were cut out of this plan. So when you say, oh, something the Republicans want or not in here, things that we wanted are not in there also. That's the nature of how these things go.
Absolutely.
I would love to have kept money in for the universities in this state. I would have loved to have kept it at the level the Democrats wanted, but that's not the way it turned out.
If this bill's passed today, will SB 6 be called today?
We'll take a look at the roll call. We'll see if this bill passes.
Okay, and let's say that it does. I would think that the next bill needed to pass, otherwise we're going to go to junk status because you can't have one or the other without the other piece. So would you say it's fair then, if this favorably passes, we will go ahead and call that next bill?
At some point, we are going to have to call the expense side. We've already voted on it, and we will have to complete that work before we leave here.
Okay. And if this is indeed passed, will negotiations continue on SB 1?
I believe that's a discussion ongoing between the leaders. That's a leader-level discussion.
Okay. And will negotiations continue on reforms, structural reforms?
I know that there are ongoing discussions in the workers' comp, property tax, local government consolidation areas, and which one am I forgetting? Oh, also, I'm sorry, also the pension area that are ongoing, and there are some issues that have been raised to the leader level. Okay,
well, it'd be my hope, and I think everybody in here, that those continue, and we can get a resolution hopefully by the end of the month on those items as well.
And Representative, let me just answer that. I think on our side of the aisle, there is definitely an interest to come to a conclusion on those that we can all live with.
I appreciate that. And if this is passed, several people have talked about how bad it's gotten, and it obviously has. Is this something that we can collectively quit bringing forth new programs, enhancements of programs, unfunded mandates on our schools, and additional regulations on our businesses? Can we as a body just stop for a while with all of that?
Well, Representative, I can tell you that in the proposal the House Democrats and the Senate Democrats began working on is what might be our position. There were a number of new proposals suggested, several $100 million of new proposals. If you were to look in Senate Bill 6, as amended in the House, you would not find those. Our guiding principle was we are taking out new programs because we have to be sure we can pay for the existing ones and at a rate that can sustain themselves. And I'll give you an example of that. The mental health community is struggling under the stress of the budget impasse and also low Medicaid reimbursement rates. So in some cases, we did propose increasing rates for organizations like mental health, substance abuse, opioid treatment, so that they can hire the medical professionals they need. So you might see some of those things in there, but there are no new programs.
Okay. Well, I've just for closing real quick, Speaker, if you don't mind, I'm not going to judge or disrespect anybody that votes for or against this bill. That's not my place here. But I'm disappointed that the negotiations did not continue, and I don't feel it is a true comprehensive plan. So unfortunately, I will not be able to support this. Thank you.